View watch page. All right, I think we are live. We just might be. Yeah, let's just make some adjustments here. Make sure I'm centered. All right, I think we are live. I'm pretty positive of it. Big Bang, how are you, Matthew, Sean? Good to see you. Well, as you can tell, we are going to be painting Conan. Let me just get my thing here squared away. Make sure I got the right zone. Okay, great. Take a sip of water before I start talking now. Oh, there we go. Much better. I am live. Yes, I am. All right, so let me explain to you what's going on here. The first hour and 20 minutes will be on this channel here. Then we're going to move over to the Dice Tower. So we're going to continue on. This week we're going to do a couple of different not easier, but the more massive amount of figures. And then next week I'll be at BGG, and then the following week we will start attacking guys like this guy, which we just might, if we have enough time and if I fly through things enough, you might see me mess around with this guy a bit. Now, I am painting this set of Conan. This set of Conan is going to be part of the patron. That is correct. So everything that you see painted today will be part of the patron. That means the King's Edition will be part of the drawing. So if you are not a part of the drawing, then you cannot win this game for free painted, which I must say is quite a thing. And we have to thank Chris. Chris, you are a champion for donating this. So I think it's the only thing I could do with painting this, and you know, we'll have a good time with it. Now the other things is we got some other things, and I have to thank Larry for that. You guys are also next month going to have a painted copy of Silver Tower. That's right, Warhammer Quest. So those are some of the things that'll be added to the patron next month. I mean, insane, insane. Well, here we go. So let's take a look here. We have a skeleton, so let's take a look at him. Let's just talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to be doing in case those of you are going to attempt to paint this or attempt to win it. There's your skeletons. So what we did was we put them in black. And hold on, painting by number 1, 2, 3. That can only be my boy Vernon. Uh, so the skeletons we decide to go black on. We have a guard here. This guard here, oh, let me back that up a little bit. As you see, we are going to be using another primed black. Now the black demon here, or dark demon, well, guess what? Yeah, it looks about right, right? Really not much to do except prime them. But I'm going to show you some things where we can bring that out a little bit. So that's going to be a little fun. Patino, how are you? Random, how are you? Steve? Luxwana? Let's see. That sword is annoying me. I'm going to bend it back into shape. Oh, this? Well, we tried, but it's the plastic is good. The detail is good, but some of the swords are a little frustrating. Nothing we could do about that. All right, we got Conan, which, as you can see, is just your it's Conan. And then we have another hero here that we're going to mess with. And we're going to get him all painted up, which I've already started. As you can see, we have him primed black, so we will take care of that. Yeah, well, that demon was easy. Yeah. Now we're going to play around with him a little bit, so we'll have some fun with that. Ugh. Because it just doesn't make sense to just leave him like this. I mean, you got to kind of bring some life into that, and we'll be able to do that. All right, so let's say we get started, huh? All right. Well, as you can see, I primed. Get out of the way. Boy, he's trying to steal the limelight here. As you see, Conan is primed white. There's a reason for that. Because when we're dealing with flesh, instead of putting 3 or 4 coats on something that's very, very detailed, we kind of want to get this mouse out of the way. Hold on. Because I don't think we're going to need it. Let's put these cards over here. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint a flesh on him. And we really don't want to put 5 coats of flesh on that guy. We want to get that one coat on there as well as we can. And the reason being, and we're going to use a little bit of we're going to do a little different. We're going to use some barbarian flesh, and this is from the army painter. So I'm trying to mix it up so everybody can see what different paints do and whether or not they like them or not. So, and also if you can go to, I believe it's called Board Game Links and up like me, that I would appreciate that. If you like what we do here on the channel. Got a busy weekend. I'm off tomorrow, actually. It's the first time I've had a day off in a while. Got a lot of things I've got to take care of. Oh, and I forgot we got this other guy, but we'll just paint him anyways while we got the flesh out. So, why don't we start painting, huh? So what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about getting any of this flesh on anything else because we're going to paint right over it. It's a lighter color. It's easy to go on. And what we want to do is we watered down the paint a little bit. That's why we got our water over here. And we got our glasses on. Got to make sure I keep that little disc there so I don't come out of camera range. Now, I'll do my best to answer whatever questions you guys have along the way, but please just bear with me as always. And you see, I'm not worried about getting it on the sword, because when we do the sword, that's when we'll worry about being neat. Right now, we just want to get this flesh on, and we want to get it nice and dry, because the flesh is the biggest color on our boy here. There we go. And next week, if you guys have any pictures of anything that you painted, send them over the weekend. I'll have some pre-programmed videos for those of you that like to watch on the channel. And I will do my best to get as much coverage from the BGG Con as possible. Oh boy, let me get a little water on there. I got a little thick for some reason. I don't think I watered it down enough. May Crom watch over you as I paint. Michael, how are you? I can only hope that Crom is watching over me. Oh no, it's a bristle that is being a little bit of a pain. We have a way of fixing that, don't we? By Crom. And just getting a nice watered down coat on here. It doesn't have to be overwhelmingly fancy. We're going to paint this hair, of course, black to look just like a real Conan the Barbarian. And the game, I have not played the game yet. We're going to get this painted up, and then we're going to do a live playthrough of it in about a week or two. But just to let you know that we're going to be working on Conan quite a bit, but also that we will be finally, and I already got everything mapped out for Myth and Wizard Academy. That's up on the docket as well. So those are the next 3 games that you will see painted. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll do the same with our boy here. We're not too worried about getting flesh all over the place. Because again, we're trying to paint this in a reasonable amount of time. And you just got to know when you can be sloppy. Sometimes you try to do all the sloppy stuff first. That way you feel that you have a good control over your brush and your paints. And then once you start getting your stroke down, it's kind of like batting practice. Do all the easy stuff first. And then when you got all the strokes in, you can kind of start moving around. At least that's the way I see it. Then again, what do I know? What do I know? Now, there we go. Let's just make sure that we got them covered again real good. So we don't want to go back and have to touch it up later. And I guess these two hang out at the same gym, it looks like. Good idea to invest in a lot of different colored primers instead of only black and white. Black, white, and gray. You can do just about anything from there, to be honest with you. Or is it better to use black, white, seeing that it's the only thing you use? No, I've used gray quite a bit. Looking forward to seeing you at BGGCon. Well, Ryzen 86860, make sure that you come up and say hi to me. I will be at the Dice Tower booth. And I'm getting in on Tuesday. And I'm leaving early Sunday morning. I'm going to be in that airport waiting for the guys for a little bit, but that's all right. All right. Now, while we got this out, why don't we just... Oops. That's all right, because we're going to paint over this black anyways. Now, you see what happens here. You have to put a couple coats in here because that's just the way this is. See, if I used black, it just would have been a nightmare. All right. So let's just paint up here a little bit. We're not worried about being too neat because, again, we're going to be painting over this real soon anyways. And I think our guard here, everything's kind of covered except for his face, so we'll just throw a little in there on his face. And of course I'm off screen, right? Yeah. All right. And the skeletons, well, they're dead. We're not too worried about that. All right. Clean that off here. All right, let's see. What do we got here for questions? Looking for my copy of Conan is expected to be delivered on Monday. Can't wait to play it, but so much painting to do. Oh, there sure is. It's like you and I. Well, yeah. That's pretty much it. If you have to put it that way, Vernon. Yeah, I see that. I get it. I'm with you. We'll be there Wednesday. Will do. It's Will Baker, your buddy from the Dice there. Will, what's up, bro? Be good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Is Janice going to be doing Witcher again soon? Yes, Janice will be doing Witcher on... Janice is actually taking over the channel for a whole week, so she will be back on Tuesday. She had to leave and go back down to Miami for a couple certifications, and she will be back Tuesday. At that point, she will be doing Witcher. But over the weekend, I think I'm going to be doing a little VR. So, if you guys want to see some PlayStation VR, it'll be a good time to catch me late at night with my headset on. Should stay in Tampa and play board games. Just saying. I heard that there was a cool dude going there this weekend. I wonder how cool he is. Cool in his own mind. All right, let's see here. I've got a lot going on this weekend. Me and the queen of the known reality. It's her birthday this weekend, so I got some surprises up my sleeve. For all she does for me, you bet she's going to get spoiled. She deserves it. Even though we're not talking to each other right now. Because we got in a little bit argument because, well, not an argument, but a severe disagreement. Let's call it that. Where once again, I try to stand up for myself a little bit, and sometimes you should just succumb to the greater power. But that's not me. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all the way. And sometimes that gets me in a little trouble. I've never learned how to take a step backwards. I'm somebody that just keeps going forward. So, let's see. What is she doing? Getting certified in ninja skills? You know, you would think so. That girl is just wrecked. She does. If you knew all the gymnastics and everything that she does every day, she teaches at the Y. She is quite an athlete. I'm very proud of her. All right, so we got these guys kind of set, so we're going to let them dry for a little bit. Have a good one, Rob. Looking forward to seeing the end result. I have to focus on driving up. All right, my brother. Be safe. And when we get back, maybe we'll have Vernon come on with us, which would be kind of cool. We'll get him up. I'll figure out how to do the Google thing on the Dice Tower. I got to talk to Tom about that over next week. And then maybe we'll, oh yeah, either we'll do it here or we'll do it, because I know he'll be painting his Conan too, so we'll get together and we'll get it all done. That's my buddy. He actually let me win, if you really think about it, if it wasn't for him. All right, so I'm taking a look at this, and it's, these cards aren't the greatest cards to try to identify things. So you really kind of have to, you're going to have to try to figure things out yourself, which I'm pretty much trying to do here. It looks like a lot of rags and tatteredness, so what we're going to do is we're going to get all the brown stuff done, I think. And I think that makes a pretty good sense of things. So we're going to take a smaller brush. Let's see what we got here. And I've got, oh, all right, let's stick with stick with some of this army builder paint. What we're going to go with is a leather brown. See how that works out. I'll tell you, and honestly, I got to try to have Vernon come up to the house one of these days, even though it's quite a long drive. But when he doesn't have the boys, I'll have to get him up to La Casa, have him stay the weekend at the compound. That'd be a pretty good time. He actually would enjoy himself. All right, so I'm really not liking. See, I'm not sure because the card doesn't show you much, so I'm gonna guess on a lot of things. Larry, how are you? Larry, thank you so much for everything that you sent. I mean, I really mean it. Unbelievable, unbelievable what you did. I can't thank you enough, sir. How do you store your painted figures in your games to protect the paint? Do you have these expensive custom insert? No, I put them in cardboard boxes. Believe it or not. If they come with the inserts that they have in the games, where the little plastic things, I keep those and just put them back in there. The most important thing to protect your game is to just spray them when they're done. If you spray them, paint's not going to come off. Simple as that. All right, let's take a look here. Let's get back to work. I apologize. Um, you know, and just bear with me for a minute because this is the first time I didn't even plan these out. We just got this yesterday, so we are going to try to work through this a little bit. All right, it looks like you know, I don't agree with this card. How's that? So I'm gonna do a little something of my own here. That one I do. Really just taking a look at this guy because it looks like there's a lot of this, that, and the other. We can go with a corn red. Yeah, I think that'll work a lot better. And then the brown. Well, let's see what we can do here. I don't think there's a lot of brown that goes in here. All right, hold on here. First off, let's get that guy out of the way. And let's shake up that paint a little bit. There we go. We're going to use this dark brown anyways. Let's just mix this up a little bit. All right. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Larry, folks, again, some of the gifts that we're able to give, um, I'm just blown away with some of the things that he did. All right, so we're going to take this brown and we're really going to kind of work it in the certain areas, just to kind of give him some of this here, make it look like some of the leather's beaten up. And what we'll do is we'll darken that with a wash, I think. That's the best way we can go about doing that here. Yep, that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to come over. Let me look at this card again. It's really difficult to see what they're trying to accomplish here. It looks like more armor on this guy than anything else. And these are good sculpts, don't get me wrong. All right, let's just do that. We'll just kind of highlight certain areas with that brown. And we just don't want it to sit in there too much. There we go. And what we'll do is, for this, because it's a skeleton anyways, and I'll kind of work that in there a little bit. Work that down there. All right. Yeah, and that just kind of work that around a little bit. Now, while we got the brown out anyways, let's start looking at our boy here. Actually, I think I may want this to be a little darker. I think that brown is just too light for what we're going to want to do, because we're going to want to go dark for Conan and then go lighter. So I'm not going to use it on either one of those guys. I don't like the leather brown on them. I think it's too light. I want something really dark that I can go out light with. I think that'll work a lot better. Alright, so let's just do the same thing with this guy. We're not worried about, we're just looking to get the leather parts on him, because it looks like he's got some leather dressing there, and he's all ragtagged. And we're just going to get back here a bit. And let me look up. Need some advice. I have 2 pots of Citadel paint that are getting very thick. Best way to thin them out. Oh God. Sometimes I'll just add like a little bit of water, believe it or not, because water is part of the three solvents that are in paint. So if you just add a little bit more, that'll do it, believe it or not. It'll freshen, bring up some life to your paint. But make sure, try to get some distilled water, because that's usually the best thing to put in to paint, to be honest. Alright, let's just do this for these rag tags that are just kind of on this guy. There we go. Get that in there. Alright, so put that guy aside. And I think we had some brown here on this guy. Yeah, his leggings and his arms. Leggings and arms are brown, so that's a good brown. Let me just wipe my brow here a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to take some of this light brown here, and we're going to come underneath. The rest is all red. His boots are even brown, but maybe we'll try to use a darker brown on that guy. There we go. Only got a billion of these guys to paint, so we'll get it right. And there we go. Not worried about being neat on his pants, because we're going to paint over the boots, and then we're going to paint over the leather parts. So this is another thing where you just don't have to be too neat. Just want to get that initial color on there. And it all comes together. It always does. Alright. And his arms. There we go. Again, we're just trying to get some coverage. So once you get coverage, then you can just fill in the spot. It's just getting started. Sometimes it's like the hardest thing on the planet to do. It really is. So let me take a look again. Make sure I got this all right here. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Perfect. Alright, that's all we want to do there. And get that over there. This all makes sense once we put the other colors on it. Alright. Alright, so put that guy over there. Let him dry a bit. This guy we're not worried about right now. Well, we got this guy's staff out. Wouldn't hurt if we took this brown and just did the staff. And let's save us a step later on, right? And there we go. And through the hand here. But we're going to be careful over here, because we're going to call some of this bone. Well, it doesn't look like bone. It actually looks like, well, we could just paint over it all just in case. How's that sound? And like I said, I'm just trying to do a nice basic job so you guys just see how to do the real basic stuff, which is cool. Alright. Alright, there we go. So we got that staff kind of done. So that's a good start. Let's see, what has everybody written? Sweet. I only prime in black, white, or gray, as do I. That's the best way to do it. Now, according to this here, it looks like a very dark gray, so we're going to go with it. Yeah, we're going to make our own gray. Because that's the way I like to do it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to gray up this guy. But while we have that gray out, we're gonna dry brush this guy too. 106 figures in the base game, 221 in the king pledge. Yep. So if you belong to the patron, you're getting 221 painted figures. Pretty neat, huh? I'll have this done. I'll have this done. Oh, glasses. Always helps with a little glass. Alright, so let's put this brush aside. When I make my own grays, I like to just use my matte white and matte black. Why is this thing acting up now? Hold on. Having a little lighting issue. There we go. There. Just had to hit it a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll start. No, I don't sleep. No, what I'll do is I'll come home and I'll mow these all out. I will. Right now we're just enjoying a bit of the afternoon. He actually doesn't. No, well, you're right. I really don't. I go to the gym. All right, there. So that's enough of the black. And we're just going to add just a touch of the white. Now I'm doing this off camera, so forgive me. That's only because I can't keep everything in the camera. Let's add a little more white. Sometimes you kind of know. Hello, Rob. Was wondering if there is a time limit for a prime mini to be painted before it loses its prime to be painted. Well, as long as you're not touching it and throwing it around, you know, it doesn't matter. You can have things primed for forever. Trust me. I do. I have a ton of things that are primed. All right, come on. Let's blend this up here nice. It's still not light enough. May have to add a little more white. I hate wasting paint. I hate wasting paint. I'll show you what I'm looking for once I get this mixed up. Because I want a gray. I want a dark gray, but I don't want... You can see right here, it's just a little too dark. Miss Lori, how are you? Lori's another one who just has, you know, I can't speak highly enough. You know, I've got some of the best people on this channel. You just have no idea how blessed I am. I've been able to help some of the children. We were able to, another gentleman had sent a bunch of stuff. I was able to take care of our yearly donation to the Toys for Tots this year early. So, I mean, it was just nice to go down to the fire station and just give them a ton of stuff that some people had sent, and also, you know, a lot of stuff that's going to be ready for December's big patron giveaway. And I just have to tell you, I'm blown away by it. And not only that, but there were some children whose fathers were out of work, and I was able to do some really remarkable stuff. I'm mixing here, so please forgive me as I'm talking here. And I got this gray right where I want it. This is spectacular. So I'm going to take some of this gray off, and just going to show you guys on the model because that'll be the easiest way. All right, so yeah, even though this is very dark, we want to just lighten up his outfit. And you can see it's subtle, but it's enough to make a difference. And we're just going to work that in there a bit. I'll show you in a second, just bear with me. As it's this front area that really kind of, and you can see that dark, nice dark gray. And it's going to make a difference because we're going to work in a lighter gray over the top to really bring some definition in. And that's where it's all going to kind of come together, because his thing here, yeah, that's gray and that's black. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's put those over there. Oh, you got to be kidding me today. I can't do anything with one hand today. All right, so as you can see, just kind of working that in there underneath here. There we go. And we're gonna lighten all this eventually. That there, that goes in there, and you can see what that gray is going to do eventually. But we're going to dry brush this. We're going to dry brush this big time once we get a little control here. There we go. I actually like this. Matter of fact, I'm going to go with it all the way through. I think the dark gray looks a lot better over the black. And I'm leaving a little bit of the black spots in there. And we're just touching ever so carefully some of the edges there. There we go. I'm going to have to touch that up. That's okay. But that looks pretty good. Alright, I'm quite pleased with that. Alright, so we're going to push him aside. Now, with this guy here, Dennis, how are you, my friend? King Fat, cool, thank you, sir. Rob, do you ever paint your bases in a tile, stone, or decorative pattern, or do you just keep them gray or black? No, I do a lot of things. I play the game first before I finish. I'll get things painted, and then if I really like the game, that's when I finish the bases. If not, it's gray, and that game's leaving. Alright, so with this guy here, I'm going to take some of this gray here, and I'm going to wipe it right off, which is perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and I'm just going to kind of go over him a little bit. Just a little bit. Nice and light. And the reason being is I just don't want him to not have any kind of definitions. Now this is only one starting color of this. So this very dark gray is going over this, but this isn't the final gray that I'm going to put on this guy. So we're going to go just a hair lighter. And peel some of this off. And again, use the bottom of your to make sure that you're getting the right kind of consistency. Use the bottom of your thing there. So we're just going to get over his facial structure, come over some of the hair that he has, over his musculature. I don't know why I butcher that word. And all we want to do is just, you're not going to be able to see much of this on camera until I do the next color. We just don't want to leave him black. We want to give him some kind of definition. Give him that 3D kind of effect. All right, let's take a look here. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right, there. I like that. All right. I got one thumbs down already. Good. I hope the guy left. There's always somebody that's jealous and pathetic. You didn't even see the finished product and you thumbed down the damn thing. God, I love YouTube. That's why I'm going to live up to my commitments, and I think I'm going to shut down. All right. So there we go. And our brush is nice and fresh. And we are going to clean off this brush, make sure that brush is good. Excellent. All right. So, King Fat, cool. Thank you, sir. Did I answer something correctly? I hope I did. Trying to keep up in paint is a little hard sometimes. All right, so let's see here. Morphang brown. No, I want a Rhinox hide. That's what we want for our dark brown. So we're going to use a Rhinox hide. It's a very, very dark brown, and that's where we're going to fill in a lot of the blanks with our figure here, with some of our figures here. All right. And just got to find the right brush. I think we're going to use this right here, which will be perfect. Let's take our Rhinox hide and drop it on the ground. And, you know, just looking at the Conan card, which we're going to, you can see that you have that very, very dark brown around him. So we're going to work on that a little bit. And what time is it? 6:42. Okay. Perfect. And there we go. Let's put this off to the edge here. And let's start tightening up our boy here. Like I said, we want to come back with a light color on him for the brown. I mean, the brown, we want the underbase of the brown to be dark. And then we're going to lighten things up, so we'll dry brush over the brown and give it that good detail that we want. But by the time we do that, I think we'll be on the other channel, which is fine. And I'll just explain a few things that we're doing. And then how next time we all get together again, we are going to be doing a lot of monsters. And I'll show you guys how this all comes out, because everything kind of works in unison together. Most important thing on this guy is going to be the wash, because his skin is so important, because it really defines who he is. And if you're able to bring out, you know, his muscle tone, then you're going to have a very successful model. And it's a very simple process. Very simple. Like I said, when you are doing figures with a white, with flesh, you really want that flesh to be white, so you don't have to waste, a lot of paint going on there. And that's the key point. You see how nice and dark his boots are? But that's all going to come lighter, and it's going to come back real good. And then we're going to come up. We're not going to worry about, we're just going to really go easy here. Really want to go easy here, because you don't want to ruin the flesh that you already put out. So this is one of those times where you're just kind of taking your time. Taking your time. Don't rush. You're never going to get anywhere if you rush sometimes. Especially with the main figure of the whole game. You know, I rush a lot of things sometimes, especially when you have 900 figures, but I mean, let's be realistic. You're not going to be perfect at everything. You just do the best you can. But when you got the whole game's named after this dude right here, you want him to look nice because he's going to be your center figure this whole game. And the bad guy too. We're going to get him. We're going to do him next time. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy what I do here. Now here you can be a little messy because you're going to paint over the sword, which is fine. There we go. Just want to be careful in here. And then come around the back side here and do the same thing. And just kind of work our paint around and come around here. Now this is a really unique piece here on his arm. Let me see. We're coming out all right here. We're doing all right. All right. And you know, this is where you really, really, really want to be kind of careful, believe it or not. Because what you're trying to do here is really sell your main figure here. And that's gold, so we're not going to worry about that. We do have some gold to fit in there. And we're just going to do that. And I think, and you always turn it around real good. Make sure you got everything. Hilt. We're going to take and just spin this brush a little bit so we get a good point. Come in here. And we're going to use the hilt here with the sword. But we're going to lighten that up too. There we go. Alright. So it doesn't look like much. It's not supposed to. Alright, this dude here. I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to go over some of his less meaningful areas. And we're going to make sure that we get that brown in there. But again, this is another thing where we're going to be lightening all this up. There we go. And because we don't want it to just look one-dimensional, we want to have different kinds of shades bursting out of this. Now that belt is going to be gold or brass, so we can get around that. All right, and I'm going to get in here. Hopefully, I'm going to have to look up at some point and see if I'm still on camera. Right now, I'm just doing such a critical point here. Alright, I think I am in camera. So there, got the cloth part done. Good, good. Alright, let's close up. Well, no, let's hold on, because let's just make sure that we have everything here. Well, I think we're gonna make these hilts that dark brown for the spears, so we can dry brush over those too. There we go. I think I'm going to change this end of it. There we go. So we can dry brush over that, because I think if we just do a nice kind of dark but work out light, it'll really look nice. It'll look a lot nicer. There we go. And let's another bendy sport. What is the brand of brush you are using? Right this second, I'm using a Royal Majesty. Royal Majestic, excuse me. I'm sorry. And there, kind of like. Sometimes I have a feel for these, but there are times that I can't even pick them up. I'm really weird with brushes. Like I said, if I don't have a feel for a brush, you will see me, and if you watched any of my videos before, I will go through brushes like there's no tomorrow. I've got to get closer. I'm sorry, guys. That's on me. All right, there. Let me move my chair over. That's the problem. And a matter of fact, if you just give me a second here, I'm just going to take a good swig of water here. Oh, it's a good time to ask me any questions if you have any. Whew. And let's see here. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. There we go. I just had to send something. All right. Just turn that a little bit. Get that over here. Put a little water into our cup here. While we're watering down the paper, the paintbrushes a bit. What base do you plan to use for Conan's hair? I'm gonna go black. Just gonna use a matte black for his hair. Matter of fact, we'll probably do that sooner than later. And that's what we'll do, and then we'll just kind of work out on his hair a bit. All right, we're just going to do this. Paint this hilt here. There we go. And that looks about right to me. Okay, there we go. So we're going to clean this brush off. What time do we got? Oh, 7:53. So we're probably going to go about another 15-20 minutes. And then we're going to shut down for about 15 minutes. And then I will see you all over at the dice tower, where we will continue on for a bit, for another hour or two. What I'm going to use for his hair, now that you bring it out, I'm going to go with an Abaddon black. Because, as you can see, he has that dark black hair. And we really want to accentuate that. And that is what we're going to do. Good old Conan, the Barbarian. It's kind of funny. I was reading some of the old comics from, and when I mean old, like the first 7 issues. I happened to have them, and I saw them. I said, oh, I haven't read these in a long, long time. Excuse me for a second here. I'm just moving some things around. Okay, iron oxide. We're going to use that eventually. Okay, I knew I had one opened. Got too many paints lying around here. All right. I apologize. And the Barry Windsor Smith stuff was just so good. He was a horse thief. He was a lot of things. I like what Roy Thomas wrote. People like the books better than the comics. I always enjoyed the comics. I thought they were very, very good. All right, Mr. Conan, let's Try to get that hair in shape here. So you always start from the middle and work your way to the edge. See how I'm working down? I'm working down. There we go. And we are doing what we need to do here. All right. And there we go. And you want to be careful because, boy, you're just going to end up touching up a lot of things if you mess up. So I'm just taking my time here. I'm working outwards to inwards. Just trying to get those edges, and that's what you really want to concentrate. Try to keep your hands steady. I keep both elbows on the ground. I mean on the table here, so I feel I have good control. I know how my paint is flowing from the brush. I'm just taking nice easy strokes, and that's all it is. And that way you don't mess up too much. And if you do it right, you end up with his hair looking pretty good. Now, very basic right now, but don't worry about it. We are going to really do some really cool things. This guy isn't even close to being done. Right now, we're just putting base on. A lot of base. All right. We are just basing this dude up. I'm going to stick with this brush. I seem to like it today. Ron! Name's Rob. It's okay. Michael, how are you? Are you a fan of the Robert E. Howard Conan stories? If so, do you have a favorite? God. I wish I could remember the names of them. I do like. I like the Roy Thomas stuff. I really do. Savage Sword of Conan comics from Dark Horse were very good. Yeah, those were very, very good. More savage than Conan Saga or King Conan. I have to agree with you. I mean, there were just so many stories, and all of them were just so good. I mean, it just goes to show you how good this book really, really was. All right, so let's put that aside for now. What do I want to do here? I had some of it here. Hold on. Just want to touch something up real quick. Because even I make mistakes. Not that I'm any good. But I noticed that I went a little too happy with the gray there. And I just want to touch that up very quickly here on his face. And come up over here. And just get it where I feel satisfied. All right. I want to do same thing with the inside of his hand. Well, first, let's take care of this very quickly here because I got a little flesh there. And then I want to work that out. And sometimes you just make mistakes. Happens. There we go. And I missed the inside of his hand. Believe it or not. But that's okay. And that's why I still got a little bit of this out here. I'm going to spin this brush a little bit so it gets nice and tight. And then his hand in here, I absolutely missed. Surprisingly. Because usually I'm pretty thorough, but sometimes I'm just not. And plus I'm painting live on on TV. That doesn't make it the easiest thing to do. All right, good. That's right where we want to be. Oops, sorry, Rob. No, it's okay. What's that clicking noise when you clean the brushes? Are you swishing the brush in a cup? No, I have I'll show you, a paint cleaner here. And it has like a little grate on the bottom. And that's what I'm doing. There we go. So now, right where we want to be, I believe. So let's take a little corn red, because our guard has a lot of corn red on him. That guy does not. This guy is who he is. We're going to paint. Well, we can make that. We could paint that red and then work our way out. Yeah, we could do that. No, we're going to go with corn red just on the areas that we're going to. I'm always here to help, Eduardo. By the way, how are you? Hope you are well this fine day. All right. Now let's take a look at these two cards. Yeah, that looks about right. All right, so we'll go for it. Now, according to this, this is going to take some doing, but there's red with silver highlights. So we're going to go for it. Use the corn red there. All right. And we're going to use the corn red here. So we're going to have to go over all this, which we will. All right. Put Skelly aside. And his body armor, or his mid-dress, is all this color. So let's paint it in. And that over there. Into here. And I may have to go over this a little bit, but that's okay. Because I'm just trying to, once I get the first one done, and that's what I do. I always take one and I paint it all the way through, and then I can machine them through. It makes a big difference, believe it or not. Once you get the feel for what these guys are, and you see everything start to come together a bit. That's the most important thing. You have to be able to get them to come together at some point. All right. And that there, around the shoulder there, through there. Okay, that makes sense now. Because sometimes the picture doesn't always exactly match the model, but once it gives you a good idea, and then you can build from there. And that's what I like to do. I like to build my way out. Get a color on there and build outwards. Now it doesn't look like much yet, but trust me, we'll get it there. That we will. I promise you that. Well, let's just slide that there. Okay, even that top drift is red too. Okay, well, don't say I don't oblige. And we're going to have to take that dark brown back out again and do our little friend here a little bit better, but that's okay. And this here comes around here like that, and then comes into here, comes down over here, So you're taking the corn red and it really starts to fill in a lot of these gaps here with this guy. And there we go. So you see where we're going with this. I've been looking forward to this game since Kickstarter day one. Still waiting for my shipment email. Ah, Pierre, how are you, my friend? I hope you are well. I will tell you this Kickstarter looks pretty phenomenal. The whole thing looks pretty good. The miniatures, you know, they're not GW, but they are very, very good to paint. Very, very, very nice models. All right, let's see here. What do I want to do? All right, I think I have a good idea what's going on with this guy. So we got to come with the belt. Then we'll start adding all the silver work into him. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. So I got a good idea where this guy's going, which is good. So I'm quite pleased. What time do we got? 7:06. All right, we will be heading over to the dice tower sooner than you think. All right, we got this guy moving along pretty well. We got this guy doing well. We got this guy doing well. Two skeletons are fine. This guy we're waiting on to work our way to another color. When we do the bone, we'll do his teeth. This guy we're really kind of focused in on. We're going to go back to a color, then we're going to go back to the Rhinox hide, and I just see how everything's coming together, so we are going to build out with the Rhinox hide. Well, thank you. How are you this beautiful evening? Well, I'm as good as I ever could be. I can't complain about things. If I do, who would really care? You know the old saying. If you're complaining, for what? Nobody's really going to listen. This weekend, to be honest, I don't. Me and Justin are planning some war games, and we're kind of looking forward to it. I know I am. This is just one of those weekends where it's just he and I, and we always enjoy when it's just he and I because then we get to play a lot of games that Janice, you know, isn't going to play. Like we got Colony, and we'll wait to play that with her. But games like Victory in Europe, uh, Command and Colors Napoleonics. We got another war game that we plan on playing. You know, just more of a war and peace this weekend. Wizards Academy. That's something that we'll wait till she's around. You know, because she gets upset when we play all the good games without her, and I feel bad too, because Janice does. She loves to play games. I think she likes to play more than I do. Are we playing a game tonight? Are we playing a game tonight? Yes, we are playing a game tonight, Janice. I'll tell you, the house just isn't the same with the little vixen not here. I will say that much. That is our girl. And then of course you gotta hear all her Witcher stories too. Oh God. It was funny, I was watching that video that she did and I go, Janice, how come you're so quiet? Well, I didn't want to wake anybody up. I go, Janice, you're you're on video. It's okay. Talk. I mean, you talk a mile a minute here. It's okay to talk. All right, let's just touch that up, touch that up. All right, there. All right, doesn't look like much, but it will come together when we start putting in the details, because that's what really, really works. Sith Knight, good to see you. Minis are looking really good, as usual. Well, they're coming along. It just takes a little while. It takes a little while, my friend. Let me just check these zombies, because these zombies are... Well, they're zombies. Alright, this is just more putting in a lot of detail. That's all that's going on here. All right, I get it. I get it. So let's see. We got that done. We got that done. We got that done. Gonna hold off on that. You shabby bone. Do we go you shabby bone? I think we go you shabby bone before we start putting all our metallics on, which we will cover. The administrative gray that we're going to be using, so I want to make sure that's out. This guy will be definitely next week. We're going to have a Guyana gold. We're going to be using Necron compound, of course. What is life without Necron compound? Agrath Earthshade. You're going to see a little. You're going to see some Bane Brown mixed in there. There's something I'm looking for too. No. Brass Scorpion. Yep. Rygar Flesh. No. Retribution Armor. Not yet. 88. Not yet. Astro Granite. Well, we could always use that, huh? I am actually looking for Lead Belcher, which is... No, that's Iron Breaker. And Lead Belcher's right here. Okay, good. Alright, we could do a little silver work here before we get into our shabby bone. What time do we have? No, it's 12 after. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to shut down. Oh, wait a minute. Just got home from work, missing all the fun. Painting Dungeon Saga furniture while I am watching. Did it freeze? I don't think so. I don't think so. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stop right here. But in 1/2 hour, I'm going to be up on the dice tower. And I'll start it a little early, a quarter of, and we'll get these guys finished. So I'll show you how to finish all these guys, and we'll be able to finish them tonight. So with that said, I'm going to cut this video out, but you're going to find part 2 live on the dice tower. So I'm looking forward to doing it. Let's just take a look at where we've gotten so far. We've kind of got the base coats on everybody here. The skeletons, well, they're a little bit more behind than everybody else, but we're right where we're going to start building out, and we want to do that live on the dice tower because that's where we're really going to get things going. New troll, just got home from work, missing all the fun. No, you're not. Just head over to the dice tower. Head over to the dice tower at 7:45 or just so, and we're going to be on for another hour, and we are really going to bring these guys to life. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys all join me over there, and I will see you soon.